Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty technical, but really important, professional modular video matrix switching.
That's right.
We're using the WolfPack 4K60 seamless HDMI input card as our guide here. And the mission for us and for you is to really get a handle on how these high-end AV systems deliver on speed and reliability without being impossible to manage.
And this card is, it's a perfect starting point. We're talking about the MM4K60IN card. It's basically a single port component that's 4K60 and 4.4.4 compliant.
Okay, and this slots into what?
It slots into these big modular chassis, think like a 9x9, an 18x18, or even a massive 36x36 switcher.
Wow.
And the core idea here, the really fascinating part, is all about operational uptime. It's about reliability.
So if a signal path fails,
Exactly. If a signal fails, you just slide out that one single card. It's about $250 and slide in a new one.
instead of the whole unit.
Instead of having to unrack and ship this giant multi-thousand-dollar matrix back for a repair. I mean, for a control room or a live event space, that kind of downtime is just, it's a nightmare scenario.
That makes perfect sense. It simplifies diagnostics. It guarantees you can stay up and running. So the modular design tackles that maintenance headache.
It does.
But let's talk performance. The specs here are pretty serious. HDMI 2.0, HDCP 2.2, and 18 GBps of data throughput.
And that 18 GBps number, it isn't just marketing. It's really the absolute minimum you need to handle true 4K 60 video with full color depth.
So if you go with something cheaper, you're compromising the image.
You start getting color banding, other artifacts. It kind of defeats the whole purpose of having 4K sources in the first place.
Yeah.
That's why the 600 megahertz TMDS clock is so important. It's the engine that drives that data rate.
Okay, so we've got the reliability angle and the performance specs, but I think the thing that an end user would notice immediately is the speed. It says here it switches in 100 milliseconds.
A tenth of a second. Yeah.
Why is that so critical?
Well, think about a surgical theater or a broadcast studio. You just can't have the screen going black for 2, 3, even 5 seconds while it switches sources.
Right, that classic frustrating delay.
That's where the Swiss switch tech comes in. It completely eliminates that blanking screen, that flicker. It does it by running the ED hops and the HDCP handshakes at the same time.
Okay, can you break that down a bit?
Yeah.
EDID and HDCP.
Sure. Think of it like this. EDID is just the source and the screen having a quick conversation to agree on the best resolution. And HDCP is the digital handshake, the anti-piracy key you need for modern streaming.
So Swift Switch does both at once.
Instantly. It uses a frame buffer to hold the last image just long enough so the switch feels completely seamless to the human eye.
Got it.
Oh, and one really important warning on that from the source material. It's a compatibility thing.
What's that?
Because this engine is so specialized for 4K 60, you should not mix these cards with older 1080p-based cards like SDI or VGA in the same chassis. You have to keep the standards aligned.
That's a key tip for any installer. Keep your standards aligned. So what about audio? Video's only half of it, right?
Right.
I see it has a separate 3.5 millimeter audio jack. But doesn't HDMI carry audio anyway?
It does, but in big commercial jobs with really long cable runs, you almost always use separate, more powerful audio amplifiers. This card lets you de-embed the audio.
Meaning you can pull the audio out of the HDMI signal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You pull it out, set it to your big sound system, and that's how you preserve high-end formats like, 7.1, Dolby Digital, or DTS HD.
That makes a lot of sense. And finally, control. This seems to be a huge selling point. It lists 24 different ways to control it.
Which for an installer is fantastic. It means it'll work with pretty much any system they encounter. You have your free apps for iOS and Android, a web BI, but it also integrates with the big third-party systems.
Like Control 4 and Crestron.
Yep, Control 4, Crestron, RTI. And the command scripts for custom jobs are incredibly simple. For example, if you want to switch input 8 to show up on outputs 1, 8, and 16, the RS232 command is just 8x1 and 8 and 16. That's it. So efficient.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've seen how the modular design solves the reliability and maintenance problem. We've talked about how that 100 millisecond seamless switching is absolutely essential for professional environments.
And how the control flexibility makes installation so much faster.
Exactly.
And I've got one final thought for you, the learner. If you're thinking about a big AV project and trying to manage the budget.
Okay, a little pro tip.
It's a big one. You can save thousands on a whole house control system by separating your hardware and software purchasing.
How does that work?
You buy robust hardware, like this, directly from the vendor. That way, the manufacturer's hardware warranty is fully intact. Then, you only hire a local third-party installer to quote you for writing the custom software and doing the install.
Ah, so you're not paying a markup on the hardware, and the responsibilities are clear. The vendor guarantees the product.
And the local expert guarantees the custom code. It keeps things clean and can save you a ton of money.
That is essential knowledge. Great advice. And that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.